So I had a video that I was going to post, but the sound quality was just so bad, and I have the tendency to ramble. So I'm just going to make this as short as possible, but it'll probably wind up being longer than I thought. But in any case, it was based off a topic that YouTube is very sensitive about. So I want to kind of talk a little bit in code when I say the subject matter surrounding a food in a sort of gate. A little bit of cheese, a little bit of bread, if you can put two and two together, you know, sort of in between the lines sort of thing. But in any case, I was doing some research on the subject because it's just, and if it is real, if everything comes out and we find out that these things really happen to children, then it's just a horrible thing. You don't want to think about it, you don't want to research about it, you don't want to know about it, but at some level, once you start researching, once you start learning about it, you have to remind yourself of it, as much as you humanly can do. So my point is that when I was researching all this, I was looking on a bunch of different forums, Reddit here, Quora here, YouTube here. I think it was on Quora that I saw people asking about it because there was either a journalist or a news anchor, some guy who he really went into depth about it. And I don't know what happened to him, but I haven't heard of him or what he's doing. I tried to look into it, but he just went quiet. Hope everything's okay. But he was talking a lot about it because there was a place, a restaurant in our nation's capital, and he was really going in on this place and connecting the dots. And if you watched his news broadcast, I think it's still on Reddit somewhere, then he really goes into it, and it really starts making a whole lot of sense. A lot of things that you wouldn't think, that you think are all just isolated incidents, really kind of, you could connect the dots and you really start to see the bigger picture. Like, oh, this is not an isolated event. This is something that's in connection with this. So and so is married to this person. This person paid money out to this person. This is the benefactor of this person. This person owns, basically that's it. But my main point is getting back to these social media sites. So when I was researching this, I was looking at different places where people have different types of information, and social media was a big one, not mainly for the information, but for the quality of questions that people would ask. And somebody asked the question like, hey, are people still looking into this? Like, is this still something that people are wondering about whether or not it's true? And somebody, I guess, who got the first spot in answering the question decided to say, like, even if, like, they didn't even say even if, they just said, like, either there's no way this can be true, or that if this was true, then what would be the point? Like, what would they gain from it? What would be the point? And my point is that I also stated in my video originally is the fact that the and it's from a show, a cartoon show, the saying, but it's like, I think there's something that we're not seeing here. Is people always think about these things, and I'm not going to ramble too much on this, but I just wanted to harken back to like the same thing when people say, why is their world suffering? Why does there need to be this suffering, and I mean, that's kind of a broad fact, but it's kind of similar when you say, why do these people, or why would people that have all this money, have all this wealth, have all this accessibility to manipulate different things in the world, want to even be a part of something this awful, as much as taking advantage of the youngest members of our society? So to me, as I said, I think there's something we're not seeing. It's just that a person asking this question, I'm just going to assume they're a 9 to 5 regular person. Maybe they have friends, family, children, dependents, relatives, that they're just living their life. They're working day to day, as I said, 9 to 5, doing the best they can, and they aren't these people. I think we think, us, when I say we, us normal people, the worker bees, in society, we think on the grounds of what we would do, what makes sense in our minds. These people, these people that if they have done these things, they are not us. They don't think like us. Their motivations are not our motivations. Like, we're not motivated to hurt anybody or torture anybody or kill anybody. We're, for purposes known to those people, we're not motivated by those things. We wouldn't do those things because we're not insane, we're not crazy, we're not operating from a sense of insanity, or just, raised in a situation where insanity was your default, or craziness and crazy acts and dangerous actions to other people and maybe yourself, possibly, is your default. That is not what we do. So when people ask that question, it's kind of a silly question. If you would have thought before you asked it, it's kind of like, why would you even ask it? Of course, I am not a person that would go out and do something like that. Think to yourself, would you go out and do that? So, what does it even matter? Their motivations. What matters is them being stopped from harming people further. What matters is them being tracked down or researched. What matters is people coming together to stop them. That I that's the only way I see as something that can be positively affecting their negative actions in the world. Like, us sitting here asking, I wonder why they would do this. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Why would they even do that? What would be the motivations? Insanity needs no logical motivation. It just is. It exists. And our job as the logical thinking people is to put a stop to it, especially if it hurts or harms the youngest members of our society. Case in point, that's basically what I wanted to say. That's it.